we're entering an interesting phase in the world where the good old Great British pound, GBP, is about to go through a prism, and it's going to come out the other side of that in the next 5 years with something called a central bank digital currency. Now, more than half of the planets and half of the countries on the planet already have CBDCs that they're researching. Okay, it's a fact. We're about, well, the final paper, white paper, and government research is happening right now, and they're expected to publish that before the end of the year. And I predict that within 3 years, we will have a central bank digital currency, which is kind of like cryptocurrency, but not quite. It's a halfway house. It's still fiat currency. It's a controlled token, but actually it's an alternative method of payment. So imagine it's moving us towards that cashless society. And if that sounds dystopian to you, then I get it. I get it. And in fact, there are some challenges to central bank digital currencies. One of the biggest ones is they can limit what you can buy with CBDCs. They also can time limit the value of it. So they can say, well, it's 1,000 CBDCs now, but actually in a month's time, there's only, it's effectively going to become obsolete. It's a little bit like in the old days when you would get vouchers for Woolies. And your nan gives you a voucher, a £5 voucher for Woolies for you to spend, but it has a use by date. And of course, you leave it in the drawer and come back to it later. Suddenly, it's expired. You can't spend it. They can do that with CBDCs as well. So we have to be really careful with that. But rest assured, the future of CBDCs here. And whether you like it or not, unfortunately, that along with cryptocurrencies and bitcoins and NFTs and all these exotic things, if your business model is looking to continue trading after the next 5 years, you're going to start to see some of these things coming in. So money flying into the business. So which payments do you use? I'll be interested if you can just put into the chat for me which of these types of payment you actually use currently. So we've got the buy now button on our website. We've got cash payments, we've got cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, we've got card payments through a pin entry device like the image that you can see on the right hand side. We've got contactless payments through very small Bluetooth enabled devices that connect to your iPhone. We've got bank transfers, based on an invoice. We've got credit lines and contracts that are managed through credit agencies. We've got bank charges that you need to be aware of. If effectively you're taking transactions in, and number 2 is the most obvious example of bank charges. If you try and pay money in now, there's a counter charge for it. They'll charge you 2% just for the purposes of taking cash. And then the final one is central bank digital currencies. So just put into the chat which of these you currently use. Just going to do now. Let me just bring up the chat. So what have we got? Bank transfer, buy now, PayPal, Sage, yep, Klarna. Oh, loads of choices, Janet. Loads. We've got loads of options. Same with your 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantastic. Okay, good that you've all got blended models on that. I think you need to all pay, except for credit and CBDC selling. Saying okay, excellent. Right. Okay, good. Crypto, York. I know Dave takes crypto. Okay. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's peer-to-peer lending. I was on a workshop the other day, and it was with a group of students from the sub-Indian continent, and they were saying it's all about peer-to-peer payments. So they have a whole load of apps now that basically transfer money just by tapping, like near-field technology and contactless, and it's basically phone to phone. And in fact, they don't even need to physically tap or be in the same area. They just simply do a transfer using QR codes. It doesn't even touch the banks. It doesn't go through that process. They have their own wallet that they put money into. They accept money into that wallet. It doesn't even go into their bank account. It simply sits in another place. It's the Wild West. Yeah, thank you, Sally. You're using SumUp for mobile and machines. Excellent. Thank you for that. So there's a number of different methodologies. I haven't got an opinion on which ones are right, and I think you just explore it based on how easy it is for you to manage those incomes that are coming in. But also the secondary part of it is just being able to make it easy for your customers to make that purchase. So what are you selling? How many units are you going to sell? And how will you price it? So I'm going to go through these now. I'll be interested on your pricing strategy. Do you do cost plus? You work out how much a product costs, and then you basically whack a bit of profit margin on there. Do you look at the price that people are willing to pay, and that's how you price your products? Do you offer dynamic pricing that the basically it changes depending on the time of day or the closeness to the need for that? Is this about penetration pricing that you've used? Or in fact, if you think about what you might do in the future, this is the Amazon model. They go in at a low price initially, get into the market, push everybody else out, and then just bring the price up. Is that the penetration model that you use? Do you use skimming, the classic smartphone model, which actually people want this thing brand new, so you're going to pay through the nose for it? Fast forward 18 months, and suddenly you can get it a heck of a lot cheaper because they're about to do a skimming exercise on the next model that they have. Do you offer bundling, so bringing several of your things together to make it more cost effective, or actually bundling it with other people's services, so it's two of you in a shared endeavor to create a solution that will benefit the customer? Do you use psychological pricing, so that classic left to right view of, well, if I say it's 9.99, 9 sticks in the head rather than £10, or I'm going to make it a really odd number, £8.47, because it looks so precise, it looks calculated. So therefore, in the customer's mind, they're going to say, okay, that's good value. So only £8.67, happy days. Do you do anything like that? Would you consider, or have you in the past used promotional pricing? So that is either because something's end of life, or it's just coming onto the market, or you're working with your new distribution partner, and for a period of time you're going to give them a preferential promotional rate because you want to help them get some market share for that, some traction with that product before it reverts back after a period of time to conventional pricing on any of these other particular models. And then finally, are you reassuringly expensive? Do you want to be known to be reassuringly expensive because it evokes that kind of unique exclusivity? So which model are these? Which of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 do you use?